And now it's time for us to find out what Nigerians are saying on social media. And just in case you haven't reacted to any of the stories, you can head to our social media handles at News Central TV on all platforms. We're going to be looking at some of the big stories. And one key one is indicative of something that we've seen as the norm in the past year, which is Japa. Japa, of course, is the movement of Nigerians from this country to, the West, looking for a better life. According to the minister, a certain minister did say that the president is working to ensure youths abroad return. And it's very interesting to see that update there. This is the Minister of State for Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, who says that President, I beg your pardon, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is working hard to ensure youths abroad return. The question is, will the youths abroad be excited to return if things get better? And to be honest, the mindset of a number of young people abroad is that they would rather prefer to be home because there really is no place like home. For a number of young people, the decision to move abroad was not necessarily sparked by the desire to be abroad and work under conditions that they're not familiar with, like really extreme weather conditions, working in -3 degrees and -20 degrees. For most of them, it's because they want to be able to guarantee that they have access to quality life, to be able to guarantee that they can go home and go to their beds without being afraid of insecurity, knocking on the door, bandits kidnapping them. Now, in reaction to this post that he had put up, several Nigerians had reacted. For some of them, the reaction, the post didn't sit quite well with them. So let's take a look at some of the reactions. From Olori_Z, Olori_Z says, Tinubu should be working on making Nigeria more habitable. Leave the Jakbarites alone and face the ones that are left. And let's look at another comment here from DWaltz_ATL says, he is working. What exactly is he working on? And that's something that a number of Nigerians are asking. He's working. It's not about giving us stories. Let's see what he's doing. Crushpel_Cakes says, you have not offered the youths here in Nigeria anything but hardship and suffering. Yet, you want the people abroad to return. Return to what? These are some of the reactions that have trailed the post of the minister on youths, saying that the president is working to have Nigerian young people return back into the country. And I'm going to bring in Osage into the conversation and find out exactly what his thoughts are. Osage, do you think that the young people in Nigeria who have moved abroad will be more than excited to come back? Do you think that the current administration, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, has what it takes to be able to ensure that this climate that is not yet favorable for the youths that are living here will be favorable in the nearest future for those who are brought to jackpot back to Nigeria?
I think everyone should be excited and immediately start running back home. We've just gotten, a new presidency that, of course, has promised to ensure that Nigeria is paradise.
Great again.
It's great again. And I mean, at this point, really, from every part of the country, from every part of the world, everyone should be excited and start running back home. I feel like there should be such a rush back home that we may not even be able to accommodate the amount of people that are rushing back home.
I agree with you.
So that the heat will kill all of us. But I'm
high level sarcasm.
I don't think. I mean, you could tell when nobody's stupid. You might find a few silly people, but generally everybody would always be able to have a sense of where the country is going. Mm-hmm. Propaganda cannot convince everybody.
And this is what the minister should be doing. I mean, if you've been put into office to, of course, you are Minister of State for Youth. We want to see what the plans are for the young people. Focus on the young people in Nigeria. What are the policies that are putting in place in the next? Give us time-bound goals. So in the next 3 months, expect us to do this. I mean, we saw that with the Minister of Interior. Oh, by the way, that's true. What has happened to that man?
I don't know. But here's the thing, so like you said, what is your plan? What are you doing? There's a reason people left in the first place. The number of, the hundreds of, or thousands rather, of doctors and nurses and health workers that are working in different parts of the world today from Nigeria, there's a reason that they left. Even those who do not work in healthcare, but just have scampered and sold every bit of, that they could to live like, there's a reason they left. If those things aren't fixed, you can't just wish them back to the countries. It doesn't work like that. And I've repeatedly said it, that the president himself has not been able to convince anybody, not even his own fan base, that he understands what's going on and things are going to be better. He's not been able to convince even his own fan base.
Well, he may not have been able to convince his fan base, but he has convinced his son. Speaking about the president's son, let's look at what Seyi Tinubu has said regarding the state of the nation. And Nigerians have, of course, been reacting. He put up a post talking about how Nigerians should stick with his father, how he believes in his father. I'm just going to read out the post and read out some of the hashtags that he used. He said, "There is no joy in seeing the people of this nation shoulder burdens that should have been shared years ago. I wish today's difficulties did not exist, but we must endure if we are to reach the good side of our future. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola A. Tinubu." And he used hashtags like hashtag have faith in him, hashtag Nigeria is in great hands, hashtag our generation will yield the fruits of this hardship, hashtag I stand with our president, hashtag renewed hope, and hashtag Nigeria is my home. Now let's see how a number of Nigerians have reacted to this. Looking at the fact that ever since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been sworn into office about 9 months ago, he has put in certain policies and measures that have caused turmoil in the economy. Lots of people have complained about the cost of living and how very insufficient their funds is in comparison to the expenditure. Let's look at it. Someone says, this is Alabi_firstborn. Ek patewo fun Tinubu. So for those who do not understand Yoruba, it means clap for Tinubu. Let's look at another reaction. This one is from officialdejialaran. It says, brother, do give away first. Make we use them see front. All this English no go enter people head though. But I don't turn big boy to small boy. Everybody is open to give away. Alaye, she normalo. She normalo. We have another tweet from King Nix. And it says, since APC took over, there's not been a minute's peace. It's from bad to worse. Oga, leave motivational quotes. Even you, where they get small hope, then bounce you. These are some of the reactions. I'd like to, of course, drag in Osalge into this conversation. Osalge, do you think that it was inappropriate for him to put out that post? First of all, I mean, it's his father, right? He has to stand with his father. Even when the whole country, a number of the people in the country are calling out his father, saying you are not feeling the pains of Nigerians. He's standing with his father, saying Nigeria is in good hands.
Yeah, I think we're joking around with Nigeria's future. These aren't the people that we should be hearing from. He's not an appointed official. He has no say, or he shouldn't have any say, in where the country is headed. And I think that Nigerians at this point are dealing with too many, issues to be listening to what the son of the president is saying. Nobody should care. These, for me, are really just distractions. And everybody should remain focused on what is important, which is, how are we going to make Nigeria better? For me, this is just a distraction. I did see the reactions to it yesterday where people pointed out that he was wearing a 250 or 270,000 naira wristwatch. And that's not the person that should be telling you to calm down. His realities are very, very different from our
From the average Nigerian. I mean, all of this is coming on the backdrop of seeing that there have been protests in Oyo State. We're seeing that people are actually hungry, people are angry. And even the person who is supposed to be our president, a number of people, I think people will feel more comforted to hear from the president and not just hear him say endure. Exactly. Because that's the same message. Every other person is speaking but the president.
Yeah, and I said it earlier today. The son has spoken.
His daughter has spoken.
Has also spoken. Maybe the wife will speak today. But Mr. President himself, like I just said, has not been able to convince even his own fan base that he understands what is going on. But the fact is, even during the campaign, he didn't convince a lot of people either. During the campaign, if you saw during the time he was asked questions, he was delegating these questions. So how does Seyi know that his father understands what's going on? How does Seyi know? Because if you ask his father, who was the president, these same questions now, how is Seyi certain that he will understand the question you're asking? He will be able to answer that question correctly in every ramification, in health, in education, in the economy, in security, in everything.
Exactly.
So, Nigerians would like to hear from the person that was voted into office.
We want to hear from the president, and not just hear from the president. Nigerians want to see practical plans, step-by-step plan on how exactly they're planning to get us out of this. And just to mention very quickly, there are speculations that the dollar has hit 1,700. Let us know how much you're able to, the exchange rate at your end, because it's different numbers we're seeing at this point. But Nigerians certainly deserve better, and we want better. But these are the things that Nigerians are saying. Remember, you can join us on this to talk about this. Tweet at New Central TV on all platforms.